Well, hello, bienvenue, and welcome to Canada. It's great to be back. This is round 7 of the 2018 FIA World Rallycross Championship, and as you can see, the world's finest rallycross drivers have gathered behind us to get the second half of the season started. And it begins, it's our first trip across the Atlantic to Canada. Let's have a look at where we've been so far this year, and of course, where we're going to go. So it all started way back in April in Barcelona, Portugal, Belgium, Silverstone, Norway, Sweden, then a break. We are in Canada right now, but we've still got to go to France, Latvia, the United States, Germany and South Africa. But here for Canada, we're in as part of the GP3R, which is the Grand Prix Trois-Rivières, the town of Trois-Rivières on the east coast, just about an hour and a half's drive north of Montreal. So let's see if we can speak to any drivers. Can you see any drivers? Oh yeah, there's one. Sorry to interrupt you fellas. How good does it feel to be back after the summer break? I'm guessing you've not just been taking it easy, maybe been doing some testing?
Well, it felt good until you asked the question, then I felt a drop of rain. Do you feel it as well?
Maybe it's just sweat coming off me.
It's yeah, maybe. Could be.
I felt it too now.
So this is the scary before the moment, you know? I mean...
live weather at World RX.
So we're out here in the weather forecast. We are doing research now on the computer. So the wind is going this way. Oh, it's actually going that way, so no, I'm just kidding. No, we're waiting for the start, so getting ready.
And presumably, I mean, even if it starts to rain now, it's not going to be enough time or wet enough to put wets on. But what are the tyre situation? Everything brand new to me?
We don't have all 4 new. We have 2 old on the right side, so it's kind of a new strategy we're trying. Usually we go 4 new. I see Andreas have 1 old right rear also.
You're a good spotter. You're a very good spotter.
So what is it about the right side that you don't need so much grip?
It's only right-hand corners on tarmac, and on the gravel tires doesn't make that big of a difference. I know the Audis, you put 1 tire here and 1 tire there. You have another game.
And 1 in the boot and 1 on the roof. So just in case, you know, you never know. This gravel is very rough, so maybe you need to stop and change on the way. Yeah.
Seriously though, I mean, I guess there was stuff that you found in the off-season. I mean, it wasn't just all a holiday, was it? You must have done some I know you did some serious testing.
Yeah, we had a lot to do because testing before Höljes, before we brought the updated 208, felt really good. But when we actually came to race, I did not recognize anything. It was a very difficult weekend actually. But we had a good race, but I wasn't having a good feeling inside the car. But so we knew a lot of things that we had to work on. We went to Riga, testing there. I do think we found some things, but you know, a new car, it takes time to get it to work. Kevin was also testing last week, so yeah, we've been working hard. And I think it is better here than it was in Sweden.
And isn't this the last place that you won a round of the World Rallycross Championship? So you've got to do it again, or you could do it.
I beat this guy at this race.
You know, that race I was second, he was first.
Yeah.
But I think both myself and you haven't won a race since 2016. So the young lads definitely need to step up the game.
All eyes on you. Good luck, guys. So don't forget, thanks for watching this live stream, by the way. Interact with us using the hashtag WorldRX. Tell us where you're watching from and which one of these drivers you're rooting for. Is it Timur Timosyanov? Is it Sebastian Loeb? You can't tell that that's Sebastian's car because it's all covered in silver foil to keep the sunshine outside. Now, I think we're nearly ready for qualifying 1. So let's join Andrew Coley and Carl Nadeau up in the commentary booth.
Well, they've got sunshine issues down there. We've got wind issues up here with the shelter nearly blowing off the top of the building. And we think that's because of this rain that's potentially incoming. Carl, you're a local. You might be able to hear the wind. You're a local, and possibly that rain could be on the way in.
The forecast changed all day. It's pretty crazy. Yesterday, we were expecting pretty much rain all day. Then it changed for just morning, then maybe afternoon. And it seems that we're going to get hit pretty soon.
Well, we're in a metal shelter. If it's a thunderstorm and things go a bit quiet, you know what's happened. And right, let's get on to the racing, the serious stuff. The fans are still down there. You can see how warm it is here. The current temperature is 27 degrees. So it's actually really warm, but it has been muggy the last couple of days. I say thunderstorms are predicted, so that would really liven things up. Not as if it needs livening up. We've had a brilliant season so far, and we can have a look at the standings as we hit the second half of the season. 6 down, 6 to go. Canada was later last year, of course, and that was because we had another European round prior to coming here. Look at that lead for Johan Kristoffersson. 40 points. So it's 30 points for a completely clean sweep weekend. If you win everything, you get 30 points. So he could afford to have a 0 score, and he'd still lead the championship by a minimum of 10 points. It's Baccarat, Solberg, Sebastian Loeb. So we've got Audi and Peugeot right up there. Timmy Hansen, Matthias Ekstrom, Kevin Hansen, Niklas Gronholm in the Hyundai there for Gronholm RX in P8. So many different cars on the pace. This could go anywhere. We don't know what we know what they've been up to. They've been testing. So we've had, 6 days of testing pre-cast. We know Peugeot tried really hard in Latvia. There's Peter Solberg, had that big crash here a few years ago, hoping obviously to not have that this time round. Loeb and Kevin Hansen. The times were super close this morning, Carl Nadeau.
Yeah, very, very close actually, and it changed a lot from the first to the second practice. We've seen Matthias Ekstrom went from first to 11th in the second practice, so maybe he was testing different setups. Sometimes we just drive on really old tires and you try like first corner strategy, so you brake more inside just to see in the traffic what it's going to do later.
Yeah, we saw that on the roof. So up on the roof here on the commentary box, we can go to the other side. We can actually see the braking zone for turn 1, can't we? We went across there for one of the sessions and people were moving far to the right once they'd done their lap times and their setups just to test that grip. And you think that's in case they get into a bit of a dice in turn 1?
I think it's important to test it once or twice before you're actually in traffic. Usually the inside of corner 1 is extremely dirty, therefore extremely slippery. So and corner 1 is extremely quick. We get the longest straight of the whole championship. So if you miss the braking zone, it's straight to the wall, and it narrows for corner 2 where there's a very, very tight chicane on asphalt and you're flying through there.
Very, very much looking forward to this. Carl Nadeau, great to have you back with the World Rallycross Championship. Carl's been our co-commentator out here since we've been here on the very first year. Local racing driver and racing expert. Driven around the original Trois Rivières circuit. We still haven't managed to hook you up with a Rallycross drive, have we, mate? I kind of don't want to because I want you in the commentary box, but I know you'd love to get in one of these cars.
Just send me to Europe. I'll take the first plane.
We'll get Carl to come to the European round. Here's the grid then for Q1 Race 1. Guerlain Chicherit, Niklas Gronholm, Matthias Ekstrom, Grégoire de Moustier and Jérôme Grosset-Janin. Now, officially, Chicherit is on the pole because being on the right-hand side of the grid, remember we're stood in front of the cars, as you can see from the graphic at the bottom, means that he is on the right as they go into turn 1 down at the end of the straight. But there's actually a left kink, remember, just before that. So you could argue that his teammate Jérôme Grosset-Janin is on the inside.
It's very hard to judge corner 1, especially with the speed that you carry through there. And at some point, corner 1, you can take it pretty much 3 wide. So sometimes being inside is not exactly an advantage.
Let's get things underway for the World Rallycross Championship, round 7 in Canada. Great start by the middle 3 cars. Ekstrom and Gronholm hooked it right up. De Moustier goes backwards. Jérôme Grosset-Janin slots in behind Chicherit. Gonna have a look up the inside. Grosset-Janin squeezes him out. Ekstrom shutting the door on Gronholm. Gronholm backs it in on the brakes. Slots into P2. De Moustier round the outside of the 2 Renaults. Grégoire de Moustier getting brave. He's going to be in the wall. De Moustier, there was no room. He couldn't go anywhere. Chicherit was squeezing him. There was no room for him to go, and contact between the 2.
It's really one at a time in that corner. It's just impossible to be too wide. And Ekstrom did a great job on the start. He could have squeezed earlier, but since he had the momentum, he waited to be clear in order to cut the way.
Wow, de Moustier, has he got problems? I think de Moustier might have it looked like he was going slowly, maybe he's broken the car. Anyway, back to the front fight. Ekstrom with Gronholm right behind. Niklas Gronholm, I know obviously you've been with us a couple of years, you know he was learning the trade. This year, we've seen some fantastic results. We'd expect that when your dad's Marcus Gronholm, but it just goes to show everybody's got to learn their way in the sport.
Yeah, great improvement from him. And Ekstrom, from the first lap in the morning, the first practice lap, he was already on the racing line, so close to the apex in the last section. It was incredible, and from lap 1.
Yeah, really, really impressive. Ekstrom with the wing almost completely flat. Now, when we came in last year, Carl, these guys had different rear wings specifically for this circuit. They had a very flat, low-drag rear wing. This year, the rules are they can only have one rear wing, which is adjustable, and that's what they've done. And you can see the Audi is running the wing almost flat.
With the straight being that long, it's very impossible to try to gain top speed because that's where you're passing everyone. It's a lot harder to pass on gravel than it is to be at the end of the straight.
So yeah, you can see there, if you look, you can barely see the Audi wings rings across the back of the rear wing because that top plane of it has been adjusted to be flat. And there you can see the rear of the car a little bit loose, and of course, it's a high-speed car with low downforce.
But with talented driver like Ekstrom, I'm not too scared about it, especially that he does very, very few steering correction. The way he drives, it's minimal steering and maximum speed, so it suits its style.
Gronholm through the Joker lap, out towards the left, looking at him to get into the right, try and get near that barrier. There's a little bump developing on the inside there, Carl. And we've got our weather developing, so you can see strong shadows on the track as the sun's beating down now. The clouds are just around the corner. If the weather changes, these guys might get the only dry run in.
Yeah, and especially there's a lot of support series running with motorcycle and other stuff. So, of course, it doesn't eat the track at the same spot that you'd expect running only rallycross cars. So at some point, it can be different from a lap to
quad
another.
bikes and motocross bikes, of course, are able to use much more of the road than the width of a car. So, yeah, we could see the track develop in a very different way to a standard rallycross track. Demoustier with the front left off the car. Demoustier's out. It's a real shame, but there you go. That's from that contact in turn one. Gronholm's done well. Look, he's tidy and he managed to come up fairly close behind Ekstrom. But certainly didn't lose any time. I think it was worth jokering on a different level. Oh, Ekstrom really close to the wall, maybe too close.
Well, if you can run a few millimeters from the wall, it's perfect.
So there's no such thing as too close, is there? It's in the wall is too close.
Too close is broken car. The rest of the time, it's perfect.
Okay, there we go. You're hearing it from Carl Nadeau. That's out there to the wall you need to be as Ekstrom takes the first World Rallycross Championship race out here in Canada.
Great
P2,
job.
Niklas Gronholm, 3:24.1 is what Ekstrom has done at the top of the table. Gronholm, how far off? 2 seconds back. There he is. Ex-world champion, Matthias Ekstrom. He really, really wanted that title back this year, but pretty much conceded to me yesterday that it's job done in terms of Johan Kristoffersson just being not unbeatable, but the gap he has now is almost too far. But we know Audi have done 6 days of testing since the last round in Sweden. Yeah, what's his teammate Andreas Backer going to do? What can Peugeot do? They've been working hard too. So this is by no means over. Of course, we'd all like to see a few different winners. Ekstrom taking this one from Niklas Gronholm, Jerome Grosses and Schiescher. Did make the finish, but some 23 seconds off the back after that half spin. Contact with Demoustier down at turn 2. So a good first race. Here's a look at the start. Schiescher there, either slow off the lights or just didn't have the settings quite right. Both the Renaults ending up towards the rear here. I feel a bit sorry for Demoustier because he didn't have anywhere to go. I don't think we're going to see the stewards get involved, but have a look and see what you think.
Well, actually, he should have gave up.
You think he should have backed out?
The guy behind him should have gave up before. But since he decided to take Demoustier's place, unfortunately for Demoustier, he's been thrown in the wall.
Okay. So
I don't think it's really his mistake because he was a bit ahead.
Yes. So Demoustier could have backed out of it on the brakes. Okay.
Or the guy behind him.
Okay. So Demoustier, unfortunately, retiring from that one. But a good first race, and it's Ekstrom who wins it.
Matthias, a great start to the second half of the season. You look like you're using every inch of that track just there.
No, we are trying everything we can. I was a bit surprised. The track was very rough, so I was trying. Maybe I was a bit too careful in some places because I saw all the edges, and I think can be happy with what I did. But I could have pushed a bit, take more risk. And then very tempting. But I think the track evolution will be pretty big. So anyway, just happy to have a clean first run.
Well done, thank you.
Thank you.
There's the clouds in the distance rolling in towards the circuit. I think we might be all right looking at that, and as might the fans have been enjoying the sunshine all day. I don't think they particularly want to be out in the rain, but there it is. Look at that, stunning shot, absolutely beautiful. Now, interesting, let's get on to talking about what Ekstrom said. Ekstrom was saying that he's seen the way the track's developing. Me and Carl were talking about a little bit about the fact that the bikes are developing different ruts to the way that the cars are. So you've got this situation where he said, I can see edges. He said, I could take more risks. I don't think he means lap time. I think he takes more risks with putting the tyre sideways through a hole.
Yeah, especially in some corners, if you're flying really fast and you want to take advantage of the whole track in order to be fast, but those routes can actually start to be bumpy a bit, and the car's going to move around, and maybe you're going to need a few inches that you don't have.
Okay, so Ekstrom safety in that race, thinks he could have gone a little bit quicker. But let's see, you know, his teammates in this one, the world champions in it, the double world champion Solberg as well, of course, running the 2 number 1s on his car in reference to his 2 world championships here at World Rallycross. And that, of course, is on top of 1 for rallying as well. Legend, 3-time FIA champion. Oh, lovely to see some kids here enjoying themselves too. Those guys, you can see from the pillar behind, they've got a roof over their heads, so it won't be too bad for them if the rain comes. It's the people in the grandstand behind the start here who are being mildly deafened by these guys doing their practice starts, which is pretty cool. And also, I say, going to be a bit exposed to the rain comes. I think we're going to be all right, definitely for this session. What do you think, Carl?
Should be pretty good. And this session, well, of course, we get 2 very fast guys. Solberg was 3rd and 1st in first and second practice. Christopherson 4th and 5th. So I think they're going to be pretty much fighting for the first spots.
Interesting. So Christopherson then, I know, when I spoke to him this morning, was running through some settings changes on the car. So, yeah, he may have compromised himself in terms of his free practice times to try and find an ideal setup, but we know he's rapid. Timosyanov, I've spoken to him and to Marcus Gronholm. We're both kind of, oh yeah, maybe we've done something, maybe we haven't. Marcus said he'd threatened to lock the engine guy in the cabin on the way over, basically. I said, have you done any development? We were joking. He said, yeah. So we left the guy in there with a laptop on the way over. But they were running some stuff on the anti-lag yesterday on Timosyanov's car. So I wonder if they found something with the engine. Think they might be a bit nearer. Timo was saying he wanted to beat his lap time from before. And we know the IMSE cars have been quick too. Say, Audi 6 days testing. This break's kind of cool because, you know, we don't know where people are at just now. Waving to the big screens. Yeah, that's it. You're on, kids. Good stuff. Okay, I can hear a very large vehicle reversing somewhere, so we must have a recovery. I'm guessing down at turn 2, maybe, where contact with the wall. You can hear the beeping too at home, I'm sure. Yeah, there we go. Of course, Demusier's car, which unfortunately didn't manage to get out of the way of the last corner, so that's on a flatbed now. Carl, it's never nice when you get your car recovered, but as a driver, you kind of want to stick around to see how it's recovered too, because they've got enough work on their hands without it getting dragged on at a funny angle and doing more damage.
Yeah, we've seen problem over the years in different racing series, and sometimes, yeah,
you always appreciate the marshals.
Yeah,
it's got to be done a certain way, hasn't it? Okay, let's take a look at the grid for race 2. Andreas Backerud, Timo Timosyanov, Kevin Eriksson, Petter Solberg, and Johan Kristoffersen. So Johan and Petter on the inside for the left kink, which is just off the start. But come the end of the straight, in theory, Backerud's on the inside. I'm still arguing that the left side of the grid is pole. Johan said to me yesterday he's still the only driver not to have been drawn a pole in Q1. But I think this could work out as a pole from the left-hand side, but you've got to get it hooked up. So let's see. The revs are up already, ready to race. Watch for the light to go out. Then we're looking for that green. There it is. Great start. Timosyanov on the outside. Solberg's tyre smoking. Kristoffersen drops back from him. Solberg surely going to move across backward, gets squeezed towards the wall. Listen to the RPM down at the end of the straight. They're almost on the limiter. Solberg, Kristoffersen trying to go round the outside. Solberg's got the inside line there for turn 2. Kristoffersen won't want to get squeezed into the wall. He gives up. On and off the brake 3 times. Backward slots in. And in behind him, Eriksson sideways from Solberg in the lead, but Solberg gets the whole shot.
Backrod was very, very aggressive under braking, but he was also extremely smart. He could have collected the Volkswagen and he didn't, so great job.
Tidy by him. Backward has a look at the inside of Kristoffersen. He gets alongside him. He's got the nose up the inside. Contact. And slots through Kristoffersen at the end up in the wall. We can't even see him for the gravel. Oh, Kristoffersen. Left-hand side of the road now, backwards up the inside, and Kristoffersen tries to put him back in the wall again. Johan's not happy. Backward holds on. He has a look back up the inside. The one car lights the fire underneath that throttle. Backward holds on to the position. Kristoffersen slots in, but that's played massively into the hands of Kevin Eriksson because he has jokered and he's on the back of these guys already.
Backrod and Kristoffersen lost an awful lot of time. At some point, yes, you feel like retaliating, which is normal to feel like it, but they both lost tons and tons of time and damaged the car possibly.
Yeah, I mean, we can see definitely a little bit of Kristoffersen jokers now. We can see a little bit of tyre smoke. Okay, so Timo goes in with him. I think Timo should have stayed out there because now he's guaranteed he stays behind Kristoffersen, who maybe is carrying damage because we can see a little bit of tyre smoke. That seems to have gone, which suggests it won't turn to a puncture. Look at the dust now.
Yeah, the track is evolving a lot today with all the heat and humidity and everything. Let's just say the condition seems to be pretty dreadful.
No dust on Solberg's car as he crosses the line. What's the gap back to backward? It was 4.398. It's now 4.4.
A lot of smoke from Christopherson cars on the straight line, so there's probably a piece of bodywork rubbing the tires.
So that we've got a lap to go for Christopherson. He won't want to end up with a puncture. That's him right down at the back of the standing. So the world champion and the world championship leader is in a spot of trouble here. Backward to the Joker. Ericsson's going to get him easily. Nicely done. Kevin Eriksson, not the best of starts, took the Joker, and that's where it plays perfectly to your hands. Everyone else went for a bit of carnage. He comes out in P2.
He did the better choice, and I'm a bit scared now with Christopherson getting to very close to Backerud. The show can begin again.
Well,
as you can see, Backerud extremely close to the inside of the corner. He really doesn't want to give an inch.
I don't mind the show continuing, I've got to say. Christopherson has a look to the inside of Backerud. He's all over his mirrors. Backerud will know he's there. Christopherson, to me, looks like the car might be slightly out of alignment in the rear when you watch him on the brakes. He just doesn't look to be tracking exactly. Okay, and there he does perfectly, so maybe he's just moving it around.
It doesn't take much. With an alignment problem at the speed they're doing on the front straight, you really don't want to have a bad alignment.
Very nicely done there. Solberg was 6.7 in the clear, but of course he hadn't taken his Joker up. He takes it on the last lap. Christopherson tapped the wall there, I think, or he definitely tapped the bank of dirt which builds up on the outside.
Looked more like dirt, yeah.
Yeah, he's quicker than Backerud, isn't he? You can see, but he can't get through. I wonder if he'll give him a little nudge here.
Again,
just to say hello.
inside under braking. Usually they're going a bit wider before the corner, but he stays very tidy inside.
Well, they may well end up in the same race next time out. Solberg takes it with a 3:25.1, but that is a second off the pace of the 3:24.1 of Matthias Ekström. So what have Audi found? Because Solberg was in the clear, totally out of danger there, and Ekström has done him by a second. Great stuff. So it's on then. It is on. Let's see what the pace of the Peugeots is in the next one. Solberg takes it 3:25.1. Kevin Eriksson with a great Joker strategy. Backward at Christopherson battling. Hopefully we'll see them in another race together next time out. Timosyanov, the back of the pack. Ekström there, taking it, look, by just over a second. So Matthias Ekström and the Audi, 6 days testing prior to this event after Sweden. Have they found something special? Take a look at this start, Carl. Talk us through it.
Very, very good start by Solberg, but look at Backerud under braking. He really waited at the last second. He got in front of Timosyanov, but he didn't collect the Volkswagen in front. Great job at the merge also. Everybody was smart, and Eriksson got a very, very good strategy. He went straight from Joker when there was way too much traffic in front of him, and it played on his side.
Yeah, nice job by Backerud. Oh, this was the point. I'll tell you what, Christopherson, we don't know. I'm guessing maybe he was in the wall there, and maybe that's what the rear left. Timmer there was a bit of an innocent victim, wasn't he? And then, of course, he gets mugged by Eriksson as a result of trying to avoid the two in front. Look at this, he carried on down.
And Backerud was very lucky because he could have got the inside wall with that push, and he was able to stay away from it.
Solberg, though, out front in the clear, completely clear, unchallenged down in turn one. Good job, but he's a second slower than Matthias Ekström, so we could be reading too much into it. It's only Q1. We've got a decent fight on this weekend.
Petter, that looked like a straightforward race win, but you seem worried about the rear left.
Yeah, it's so big holes out there, and you know, I had the lead and trying to drive very smart to not have any punctures, and so happy with my drive. No big attack, so I'm happy with that actually. Okay, Ekström is a little bit faster, but it's so easy to, something should happen and stuff, and so that's good. I think the second start line is better also.
Good luck later.
Thanks.
Okay, interesting. So Petter saying about second start line means the grid slot. So he was, where was he in that one? Okay, yeah, I think he was second, in the yeah, he was. So Solberg thinks that position's better. Bucky Lasek, who was doing co-commentary on ARX, he said this morning we looked at the grid, there's just a slight dip, and that dip across the grid varies. So you'd almost need a different RPM according to what slot you were sitting in.
And there's a second dip in the inside of corner one. So if you get the right angle coming to corner one, you're pretty much on the rail. If you miss that, the car's gonna push outside.
Solberg saying the same thing as Ekström, that he was worried about getting a puncture, and of course that's because of the ruts in the road. So, you know, I don't know if we've seen the ultimate pace from this track. Maybe we've seen the ultimate safe pace, but if you took a few risks, could you go quicker?
Yeah, I think they can go quicker. But as we could see, actually, Christopherson was pretty much saved by the dirt, because at some point when he got pushed really, really wide, the dirt basically avoided the impact with the wall.
Robin Larson. Those guys think they found a bit of pace in the OMSC Fiesta. Holds the car on the brake. I think that RPM's not quite right, and that's that point at which they get to do the little test. Yanis Baumanis, there's 2 starred cars here this weekend, so the other car is actually being run for Rennie Munich, who's taking part in America's Rallycross. So if you didn't catch that earlier, you were on the wrong Facebook page. You need to be swapping between the two. We've got all the racing all weekend from America's Rallycross and the FIA World Rallycross Championship. So it's tons and tons of Rallycross action to follow. Okay, time then for the last race of Q1 FIA World Rallycross Championship here, Canada, round 7. And have a look at that for a random draw. Timmy Hansen, Sebastian Loeb, Kevin Hansen in a row of 3. Sebastian last night downtown was joking, don't worry, I'll keep the brothers apart down at turn 1. Susan Hansen, Kenneth Hansen, like, oh no, look at this draw. Peugeot Sport were frantically writing plans. Those plans could, of course, easily be spoiled by Robin Larson or Yanis Baumanis. So what's going to happen down at turn 1? Carl, what do? You're the boss of Peugeot Sport. You've got 3 cars in a row. It's Q1.
I'd be biting my nails right now.
So no planning, just sit and bite your nails.
Yeah, just guys, be respectful, please.
Don't hit each other. Don't hit each other.
And actually, Loeb and Hansen are 2nd and 3rd in the second practice in timing. So we know they're extremely quick, and Kevin Hansen is really quick too.
They did a ton of running at the official World Rallycross test at Latvia, which happened just 2.5 weeks ago, using a test car over there. Very even start by the 3 Peugeots. Larson goes backwards. Baumanis has got it hooked up. Kevin Hansen looks to have got the best start of the 3, but it's Timmy Hansen who's on the inside. Sebastian Loeb does separate the 2. Baumanis backs the Fiesta in the background. Kevin Hansen round the outside trying to hold on for the whole shot. Timmy Hansen pushes Sebastian Loeb wide. Kevin's now going to have to give up the place to Loeb. Oh, Timmy runs wide. Timmy runs wide, clips the wall with the rear, almost collects his brother as well. Timmy Hansen too quick in turn 2. Has he damaged the rear of that car or not? We need to wait until he gets on the brakes, whether or not the car's turning in properly. Joe collapse for both Baumanis and Larson. Larson's up the inside of Baumanis in the background. Can't see who's going to come out of that in front. It is Baumanis through the dust who holds on to the position, but it's Loeb leading from Kevin Hansen and Timmy, who did get the whole shot and then made a mistake.
Pretty sure Loeb barely touched Timmy Hansen's car though. It doesn't take much in that corner, just the slightest little push, like with a finger, you can move the car around. And I think that happened. And Kevin Hansen, you got to give it to him. He could have resisted, tried to stay first at all costs, but he decided to back off, and that was the safe move.
I'm looking at the rear left at Timmy Hansen to see if there's any damage. I think, again, not. I mean, maybe tracking slightly out, but this was where he ended up in the wall. Sideways again for him that time. Okay, you know, if you get a little nudge here, because the walls are so close, if you're already on the limit, Timmy goes Joker, he's sideways and deep in the Joker. He's going to hope to come out in front of Baumanis, and he does. So, okay, good job still. The Peugeot's quick, isn't it, to manage to do that after a mistake in lap 1.
They worked really hard to improve the car, and it seems to work. And they were a bit concerned before the weekend about the pace of the other team, because you never know in a test day if everybody brings the A game or if they're sandbagging.
Yeah.
So now they're going to get the results.
Sebastian Loeb flat out down the straight. We heard a couple of cars on the limiter when we were on the roof watching earlier on. We weren't sure if they were just a gear down or actually, I think it was one of the GCK McGanns, wasn't it? Fastest lap of the day, Sebastian Loeb. Now, the track can be developing, Carl. What's your thoughts?
Well, at some points it's getting worse, some other it's getting better. Of course, the asphalt, the more we run in corner 1, the less dust there is, because of course there are regular streets here in Trois-Rivières.
Into the joke lap, Kevin Hansen. Timmy Hansen goes hard on the gas, tries to shut the door on his brother, but he can't. Kevin gets out in front. Best lap times for Solberg and Ekstrom were 48.30, 48.33. So Sebastian Loeb with a 47.9 has gone some 4/10 faster than them. Have Peugeot found something now? You know, it's a fantastic run by Loeb so far. He's in the clear.
It's going to tighten the championship if they
Oh,
did.
it'd be great.
So it's very good.
I love to see great racing. Do you know, I even think Johan Kristoffersen, of course, he wants to win the World Championship, and you know he has to be massive odds-on favourite for it now. I think even Johan quite enjoys a good scrap, you know. So,
Kevin Hansen is really, really quick this weekend.
Yeah, he's doing a fantastic job. Kevin, of course, with an upgraded car as well. Timmy and Sebastian Loeb in basically new cars. Look how tidy Loeb's Joker lap was. Completely unspectacular. On the inside, found the traction. Job done. Kevin Hansen is flinging the car around with his brother Timmy right up behind him.
and Loeb's wheels were straight so much before any other driver that he could apply full power and exit the Joker extremely quick.
The target time is 3:24.112. That was by Matthias Ekström. Audi doing a fantastic job. Loeb coming down to set off the timing now. Can he do it? Yes, he does. 3:23.4, 0.6 of a second. Loeb has taken Q1 here in Canada. The testing has worked out for Peugeot, and the Lion is on the pace again. What might Timmy have done as well? Bear in mind, Loeb didn't even get the whole shot, so could they have gone a couple of tenths quicker without the incidents down in turn 2? But 6/10 is impressive. Loeb taking it from Kevin and Timmy, the 3 Peugeots lining up on the grid and finishing the race 1, 2, 3. Baumanis and Larsen missing out to them. And there's where they slot in. So Loeb, look at the top, ahead of Ekström and Solberg. So we've got Peugeot, Audi, Volkswagen, Hyundai. Brilliant drive by Niklas Gronholm. 4 different manufacturers in the top 4 here at World RX. Kevin Hansen, Timmy Hansen, the brothers in 5th and 6th, Kevin Eriksson and Yannis Baumanis. Have a look at this start then, the 3 Peugeots. Sensible stuff, but was there contact in turn 2?
Yeah, that's what we have to look for. But Kevin Hansen, got to give it to him. What a good start, and how smart he was there.
You see, he avoided Loeb there. So this is Timmy on the brakes. No, I don't know if Loeb does get in the back of him. I think he's just dropped it on the brakes. What do you think?
A little too aggressive, maybe, yeah, a little too aggressive on the braking.
That was
you
him
see
trying
how bumpy this is,
yeah,
at the merge there.
And of course he didn't take the standard line there because he wants to run the car wide to try and shut the door. You can see the Peugeot's running the super flat rear wings as well. Great job. Loeb takes it.
Sebastian, we're in French-speaking Canada, and you've made yourself very much at home with qualifying 1 win.
Yeah, it was a good race. Quite a battle with my teammate in the first corner. Second corner, I was second, but Timmy made a mistake, so I could take the opportunity to pass first position. Then I made a really good run, I think, pushing hard all the time, no mistake. First place after the Q1, couldn't be much better.
Well done, thank you.
So Loeb's happy with that, and unsurprisingly so. I'm happy because we've seen a Peugeot and an Audi challenging the pace of VW. Solberg and Ekström both said they didn't take all the risks because they were concerned about ruts. You know, would they push a tyre off a rim? We get that, but this looks like it's on, Carl.
In Q1, you don't want to upset the car too much also. You want to keep the car for the whole day. So, of course, it's scary to go like all out at the first run. So, smart move.
We will see. Sebastian Loeb takes Q1 in Canada. Great result for Peugeot. Let's have a look at the standings after that session. Remember, 3 more to come. 1 today, 2 tomorrow, and then the semis and the finals for World RX. Sebastian Loeb takes it, 50 qualifying points for him from Matthias Ekström and Peter Solberg. Niklas Gronholm with another great performance to be up P4. Kevin Hansen, Timmy Hansen, I think their time was compromised very slightly. So, you know, you'd have to say with 3 Peugeots in the top 6 and then 1 each of the other manufacturers, Peugeot looking very, very strong here indeed. Kevin Eriksson, they thought they'd found something with the IMSC Ford, doing a good job down in P7. Baumanis is P8. So good job. That's your top 8. Remember, there's 3 shots, still 3 qualifying sessions to come to decide who gets the all-important top qualifier. Ah, there we are. So that's us. That's our little house. You know, wave, Carl. There we go. You can just about see us. We're in the commentary box right up on top of the building there. There's the crew. Look, all the guys who've been looking after us. A minute ago, they were all holding on to the shelves because it was really seriously trying to blow away. But, yeah, that's great. Lovely for you to see where we are. These are the links we go to bring you great coverage of the FIA World Rallycross Championship. I hope you're enjoying it at home. If you are, please comment and share. Let us know where you're watching it from. What do you think? How good is the Peugeot? How good is the Audi? Who did you think took the most risks in that race? Who's your money on for the win this weekend? Kristoffersen's won 5 out of 6. The only man to beat him so far is Sebastian Loeb, and he is at the top after Q1. Who's your money on, Carl?
It's hard to tell right now, but I've seen a lot of guys really pumped for the weekend. Backerud was on fire, so he really wants to push and move up the rank, of course. The Hansen family, I think they can raise a few surprises during the weekend.
Well, we'll see. Kevin Hansen there, you know, very much on the... Kevin nearly managed to get the whole shot, didn't he? He'd love to do that as well. Kevin around the outside of Timmy and Sebastian, he would have loved it. Very sensibly, he knows his role in that team. You know, the other 2 guys are the nominated drivers for the championship, team's championship. You know, this isn't over. It's a long way to go. Look at Kristoffersen. Let's talk about Johan. You know, one little bit of contact, nearly ends up in the wall. Imagine if he didn't make it. You know, we keep going, oh, he's so many points clear. If he doesn't make it, it doesn't matter. Of course it matters. 40 points is comfortable. A retirement is not. He can't cruise.
For a driver like him, anyways, it's victory every single weekend, or he's not happy. So at the end of the day, I think it's going to push really, really hard to move up the ranks and be sure to take number one. So I think we'll get an exciting racing weekend coming.
Yeah, we've got a brilliant racing weekend coming. Now, if you're not familiar with just FIA World RX, don't forget that we've got America's Rallycross here as well. So we've got the likes of Ken Block, Scott Speed, Tanner Faust in Volkswagens, in Fords and in Subarus as well. We've got Jacques Villeneuve making his return to Rallycross. You can see the action that everyone's looking at home as well. They've got drifting, quad bikes, there's motocross bikes. There'll be a big party downtown later on this weekend as well. So, you know, we're having a great time out here. I hope that you're enjoying seeing some of the action from home. As I say, let us know where you are and what you're thinking so far. Sideways, look at that. Look at that. That's a proper bit of locks, isn't it? There, that's lock stops business.
Hey, drift cars, they have like 75 degrees of steering angle.
And look at the camber as well. The camber angles are absolutely insane. These cars are set up, aren't they, specifically to be able to do the sideways thing?
Tons of camber in the front, so when you're at full lock, the tire sits correctly on the ground. So this way you can travel sideways and actually gain speed because of the grip you have in the back.
Sideways business. Who was it? Let's put some crazy engine in one of those. You were saying to me earlier.
The S2000's running a Dodge Viper engine, so...
Because you need a Dodge Viper engine in an S2000.
You need power.
I love it. Love it. Absolutely brilliant. Right, Neil Cole has managed to find a very special guest of Monster Energy who's here with us this weekend. He actually raced here last year. It's Nick Hamilton. Let's go down and have a chat with him.
So we're right outside Johan Kristoffersen's car, which is having a little bit of repair work, and Petter Solberg's car, which looks pretty neat and tidy, although he was worried about the rear left damper. And we got Nicholas Hamilton here. A great pleasure to have you with us, Nicholas. He's just getting mic'd up there. So Nicholas, you raced here last year. Give us a sense of how these drivers are feeling right now after the first qualifying session.
Well, obviously, because it's the first qualifying session, you want to make sure that you get to the best start as possible. And obviously, you can see there's a couple of drivers that you wouldn't expect to be struggling in Q1. So obviously, it's quite tough for them, really, mentally. But you know that's what they're all about. And it's about picking themselves up ready for Q2.
If we have a little look, I think we should be able to do a little bit of analysis. Now, who impressed you particularly? Because Sebastian Loeb was on fire here. This is Loeb.
Yeah, I mean, it's so important to get the whole shot into turn one, you know, because once you get the whole shot, it sort of sets you up for the rest of your race and trying to make sure you can be as consistent as possible. And you can see Loeb there, as soon as he's, you know, got out in front, he's, you know, really struggling to, or really, you know, focusing on his lap times.
It looks like Hansen really went wide there because he was, when I spoke to Sebastian after the race, he said that he was surprised to be battling with his own teammate. So.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, we always knew it was going to be tough with all the Peugeot drivers together, you know, and
yeah.
I think they did a fantastic job to not create too much contact and really focus on their lines and, you know, keep consistent. You know, the surface changes are quite interesting here, you know, from jumping to then, you know, making sure you're getting your exits, and it was really impressive from Loeb, so I was quite impressed by that.
And at the moment we've got drifting out here. What's cool about this is that there's all this kind of gnarly motorsport happening. It's the Grand Prix of Three Rivers, so there's no minute to spare without tyre smoke drifting across the grandstand. It's a great place to be.
Yeah, not at all. It's all about putting on a good show for the fans, and you know, the drivers in Q1 have done a fantastic job in doing that. We're all here to race, you know, trying to get the best results as possible. But you know, if it wasn't for the fans, we wouldn't be here. You know, so everyone's done a fantastic job, you know, and we just got to try and make sure everybody's happy, focusing on their jobs, doing what they're doing. But you know, it's fantastic spectacle.
Thanks, Nick. Talking about people doing their jobs, we've got people doing their jobs hammering. This is a team that are used to rebuilding these Volkswagens from when they were in the WRC. So thank you very much to Carl Nadeau and Andrew Coley, who are up there in the commentary booth. Thanks to Nick Hamilton. Thanks to you for watching. And remember, we'll be back later. This is live all weekend. Qualifying 2 coming up. Also, if you want to see me in a slightly different outfit, there is America's Rallycross happening very, very soon. Thanks for watching. See you later.
and envision, Coley?